In area news impacting us at this hour on Thursday morning, January 26, 2017. Fort Fairfield is moving forward with a municipal land incentive program in an effort to attract new business. Gary Siwa, the chair of the Economic Board, said the program will. In area news impacting us at this hour on Thursday morning, January 26, 2017. Fort Fairfield is moving forward with a municipal land incentive program in an effort to attract new business. Gary Siwa, the chair of the Economic Board, said the program will in effect give land away to a business developer with a host of conditions, including the employment of at least 2 people. The town owns a number of large parcels of undeveloped land, mostly in commercial zones. That type of property might entice a business owner to try and set up shop. Among the other requirements for the deal, developers would have to comply with all local and state regulations and pay taxes on the assessed value of the property. The board is working on finalizing the application materials and guidelines for the program and will post them on the town's website in the coming weeks. Bob Evans Farms has acquired Pineland Farms Potato Company in Mars Hill. Yesterday, Bob Evans signed an agreement to acquire Pineland Farms Potato Company for $115 million, with a deal expected to close in May. The 125,000 square foot potato facility in Mars Hill employs nearly 200 people and buys about 100 million pounds of potatoes from 25 local growers each year. Rodney McCrum, the president and chief operating officer of Pineland Farms, says the entire staff are expected to be kept on. Pineland was purchased by the Lieber Foundation of Portland in 2010. Lieber Foundation president and chief operating officer Jer Mickelson says the sale to Bob Evans has been in development for several years. Covered Bridge Potato Chips in Hartland, New Brunswick has purchased new equipment and expanded its manufacturing facility with $867,000 in federal and provincial funding. The announcement comes less than 8 months after a strike and boycott at the plant ended with the signing of a new contract that included a pay increase for workers and more money for boot and clothing allowances. The nearly 9,000 square foot expansion is expected to improve the company's efficiencies and optimize operating space to increase production of its old-fashioned kettle chips, which are made from dark russet potatoes harvested from the Albrights family local farm. Minister of Agriculture, Aquaculture, and Fisheries Rick Doucette said investing in the expansion at Covered Bridge Potato Chips will help deliver on our #1 priority of job creation. No number about the number of new jobs anticipated or the timeline have been provided. The company, which began with 3 employees in 2009, currently employs nearly 100 people. A Maine state senator says a pair of proposals she has authored will reduce the out-of-pocket cost of college and make it easier for students in the state to get their degrees. Cape Elizabeth Senator Rebecca Millett has introduced a bill that would increase the minimum grant from the Maine State Grant Program from $1,000 to $2,000 per eligible student. The proposal would apply to 2- and 4-year degrees as well as technical and vocational programs that award certificates. Millett's other proposal would create a task force to establish post-secondary degree competition goals. She says the state's lack of establishment attainment goals makes it hard for Maine to measure its success in helping people get degrees. State and Thomaston police, working with the medical examiner's office, recovered the remains of a badly decomposed body along Route 1 in Thomaston yesterday afternoon. Detectives have a promising lead on who the person is and now will await work by the medical examiner to establish a positive ID as well as the cause of death. It is likely the man's body has been there for a number of months, and he is not believed to be from Knox County. State police have not put the death in any category other than it remains under investigation. As an Ontario company plans to set up in New Brunswick, the province is being urged to ban blood plasma sales. Canadian Plasma Resources says its Moncton clinic is almost ready, although it hasn't yet received federal approval. The New Brunswick Health Coalition says Premier Brian Gallant should ban the sale of blood and plasma to protect the integrity and security of our national blood system. The coalition and several unions says allowing Canadian Plasma to operate would make it a direct competitor to the nonprofit Canadian Blood Services and take supply out of the blood system. New Brunswick Health Minister Victor Boudreau has said the province doesn't intend to prevent the clinic from opening. Canadian Plasma already operates a donation clinic in Saskatoon, but Ontario and Quebec doesn't allow them. It had 2 clinics in Toronto, but they were shuttered by provincial legislation in 2014. Maine Attorney General Janet Mills says that Governor Paul LePage's administration needs legislative approval to build a proposed privately run psychiatric residence on state-owned property. Legislative leaders have called for public review of the facility, which would house people found not criminally responsible for wrongdoings because of mental illness. The administration originally proposed to build the facility in Augusta, but LePage has told lawmakers it will now be built in Bangor to avoid the oversight of a group of legislative leaders. Representatives of the Department of Health and Human Services said it has the money needed to build, but Mills, in a letter on January 24th, said even if that's true, the department isn't exempt from needing legislators to authorize construction and funding for a new state building. Finally, the Canadian dollar is trading at 76.30 cents this morning, and the U.S. dollar is trading at $1.30.5 Canadian. Well, you just been uploaded. This is Channel X News, where news matters more.